If there was one thing that you would love to see business leaders do to collaborate with you, with unions, what would that be? What would that look like?
United Brotherhood of Carpenters is open. You want to come in here and look what we do, the training we do, everything we do, we'll show you that. And we would like you to reciprocate to us too. What do we have to do to be a better union? And I've had contractors that we've dealt with, a couple national contractors and a lot of just regional contractors. They come out here, they view us as an impediment to making more money. When I talk to them, I say, look what we've got. We're out there and we sell our skills and our productivity to the employers. I've had a few of them out here at the training center, and they're just blown away at the amount of training we do here. And they'd walk around this facility and ask, hey, how much money do you have invested in here? And we'd tell them, we've got about $150 million invested here. I said, why is that so important to you? He said, well, you know, when I looked at this, you guys are real. I don't think you'll screw me because you got so much money invested in training and education. It's about 1.5 million square feet. We've got 330 rooms tied with the training center here, and we've got 2 hotels with another 300, and we're building a 3rd hotel. And it's not only the skills part, and that's very important. You have to be a very productive carpenter out there, but the leadership skills and the soft skills that we train here to make that member, him or her, understand what's in it for them, and to be a better employee and more productive employee. And we have that discussions all the time with our signatory employers. And it's been very helpful for us working with management of the big carpenter firms in the United States and Canada. So we can make, because look, we feel we're in this together. You know, we can't be successful unless we have successful employers. We feel that we add value to those employers by being more productive, and, you know, showing up on the job at 7 a.m. and giving a good 8 hours work. And, you know, that to me is the difference. I mean, you go on a lot of non-union jobs, there's not a lot of real good supervision, getting back to the foreman training and supervision training. So I just be open with us.
It's good business. You know, you have contractors out there that don't want to spend the extra money using union labor because it's more expensive. But what's more expensive? Doing it right the first time or having somebody come back and do it again? Having it be wrong. And then now you got to pay them to do it twice. There was a project here in Las Vegas. It looked bad from 100 feet away. You could see that it was wrong, right? And we're looking like, this is bad. So we talked to the general contractor. First of all, why are you using non-union labor? You know, it doesn't make sense. Well, they're cheaper. And we're looking like it's going to take you a week to fix that. And it turns out they couldn't open because everything was done. This was done wrong. That was done wrong. You know, this is off. That is off. And so they not only had they already paid that non-union contractor to do all that work incorrectly, now they had to come in and pay to do it again. They end up opening on time. You know, just in the speed and efficiency that we have, the productivity that we have, it's unmatched. You know, not to toot our horn, but Las Vegas carpenters are some of the best carpenters in the world. And that's because casinos make a lot of money every day. So every day that they're not open, they're not making money. So if the people that make that much money every day think, hey, union carpenters are the way to go, everybody else should just automatically know that union carpenters are the way to go.
We have worked hard at it to make sure that the carpenters union and the business community go hand in glove, right? We're proud of the relationship that we have with labor and management to advance the standards in the industry, to make sure that we have the most productive, skilled workforce. So they recognize that. If you look at the landscape, whether it's in the private sector or the public sector, you look at, you know, the football stadiums and hockey arenas and all, they're all built with no public assistance, but the private owners of those facilities say, I want the best facility made by the best workers, and I'm going to have all union workers build in my facility.
I think it's very important that carpenter out there knows he's an integral part in that contractor's business. And the more productive he is, the more jobs he's going to get. You know, I asked the carpenters come out here. We've got a class tonight. We're going to be 400 people here, carpenters, journeymen and apprentices. You know, what would 400 hours extra of work do for you and your family, right? And gets them to think about how important it is their productivity on the job site. I asked those carpenters, every one of them, how many of you on the job you're working on today think that you can increase your productivity by 10%? Every hand in the room goes out. And then we talk about this education center here is about doing that. It's what's in it for you. You're going to learn leadership skills here and productivity skills that's going to help your career. And we also, you know, on the foreman level and superintendent level, we have training here for those folks. And I use a little deal. I remember when I was a carpenter and had a real bombastic foreman, a yeller and a screamer.
Mm-hmm.
You know what productivity he got out of me? He got as much productivity just to keep my cred up, right? But if I worked for a foreman that said, hey, Mac, this is what it's expected of you. I want this, and you know, we're not gonna, you know, this is what the crew's doing. This is what I expect you to do. And if you have any problems, let me know, because I'll fix them. Because I want you to be successful. And if you're successful, I'll be successful.
We had the president at our training facility to talk about high-speed rail going from Las Vegas to Rancho Cucamonga, right? We had the CEO of Brightline here. He doesn't know what unions are all about, but he wants that best worker to be doing his facility, and he knows, I want this thing to be done to my specifications, and I'm gonna hire union workers. So there's a lot of preconceived notions on both sides, but they wanna make sure that the product that they're producing is the best. And if it costs a little bit more in order to do that, then they're willing to do that. And come and check us out. Come to this facility in Las Vegas, Nevada, and see what goes on here. See the leadership, the training, the attitudes.